Good evening, folks. Eid Mubarak to you. Welcome. Today is a Wednesday, and what day in the calendar? 5th day of June 2019. Also day number 156. So we have 209 days to go. Quite a lot of ground to cover. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. On the program today, APC replies Oyegun says Oshiomhole is clearing the mess left by ERSTWHILE National Chairman. Group endorses LAWAN, ORJI KALU for 9th Senate leadership. And later on, we'll share this with you. CBN governor promises to create a roadmap for Nigeria's economic growth. I'm hanging out with Asokwa James. I greet you.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Citizen.
There's Chris Wandu here. Chris Kennedy Wandu.
It's good to be here once again.
Sam IBEMERE has joined the trip. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you very much. Always my pleasure.
So the team is ready. I hope you are. You know, let's go. The tragedy of our existence is the inability of leadership to take and accept responsibility. The crisis rocking the ruling APC appears to be boiling over. After days of studied silence, the party reacted to a statement credited to the outgone national chairman, Chief John Odigie-Oyegun, who accused the incumbent of intemperance in leading a political party. Now, the All Progressives Congress, APC, unequivocally insists that the new helmsman is busy clearing the mess left behind by his administration. That's the administration of the last chairman. Now, the statement said, in part, they quote, the courage required to confront the pockets of political despots created by the problems which the Oshiomhole-led leadership is currently grappling is something to think about. That's a test statement, if you ask me.
Yes, exactly. And I wasn't expecting, such a statement or outburst from the past chairman, and coming from him, who actually knew how everything was before the election of Oshiomhole, and the issues that came about before the emergence of Oshiomhole. I wasn't expecting Oyegun will even come out, because it is during his time that we saw a National Assembly that was very, very ruthless, Even the president
using the
ruthless,
word loosely.
As
a loose term.
Yeah, as a loose, loose term. Not even respecting the party, doing things just to favor themselves rather than even the party itself before even the nation. And the president actually said something similar to that recently, where he said the 8th Assembly lacked patriotism, and he was talking about the leadership. Those who were at the leadership position at that time were members of the APC. And it was during Oyegun's time that these so-called leaders, ran riot, even when the party told them that, okay, this is the set of people that we want. Initially, Saraki was not even supposed to be the Senate president from all the politicking and all that, calculation and all that. They still went back and said, okay, fine, this is who we want, or this is the list that the party wanted. And it didn't still, everything fell through. It didn't succeed. So Oyegun cannot come out now and say that Oshiomhole does not have the temperament, to run a very big political party. Oshiomhole, if you look at it, has been trying as much as possible. Yes, he has his flaws, but he has been trying to see how he can bring back, the party to become one indivisible party.
As we say, the party is supreme.
Exactly, and that is what he has been trying to do. Because even I remember during Oyegun's time, when Bola Tinubu was given the task of trying to reconcile all the mess that was in the party, it became very, very difficult. I remember that the letter he wrote then, that Oyegun was even frustrating his efforts. So Oyegun they shouldn't come out to say, to play like, to act like a saint. He's not a saint. He has caused the mess somebody is trying to clear the mess, let him just allow the person that is there to do what he can to unite the party.
Chris?
Yeah, I tend to disagree with Asuko. And
it's your right to do.
Yes, it is my right.
But don't go to court.
No, I won't.
Yeah.
Even I'm a lawyer in training, I won't go to court. Now let's get this in perspective. After Oshiomhole took over, Oyegun went to what we can call a retirement, and nobody heard from him. Okay, whatever has been happening in APC, you couldn't. I don't think there was any time that I read anything from.
But
Oyegun.
he was still a bona fide member.
He is, and he still remained like that. This crisis, we have to realize where this crisis is, because the way Asuko said it is like the man just came and started talking and so that was what happened.
I was wondering too.
Yes, that was what happened. What happened was that the South-South, based on the statement made by the Deputy National Chairman of APC, North, Alhaji Shuaib, where he asked Oshiomhole to resign. Now, the chairman of the APC in the South-South came out and asked Shuaib to withdraw his statement and apologize. And in their statement, they stated that the problem that they're having now is not that of Oshiomhole, but that of Oyegun, that it was Oyegun that caused it. Oyegun wasn't in the picture at all. And the man has to react, and he has to come out and say, why are you saying this? This wasn't what Oyegun had no issue.
More like saying you should have allowed sleeping dogs.
Yes, sleeping dogs, lying. You should have, in fact, they should have even questioned the messenger and just leave the man alone. But so they took the fight to the man, and he reacted. But let us look at it from even that point. Is there anything that Oyegun has said that is not true? Has APC been what it's supposed to be? In the last election, PDP and opposition party won 15 states. APC won 14. You expect a party in government to progress, not losing states. And there are so many other things that APC could have avoided. Okay, more so, the chairman of APC, national chairman of APC, Adams Oshiomhole, was a former president of NLC. He knows the power of negotiation. He was the two-time governor of Edo State.
And consensus. And
the consensus, that is it. So politics is about consensus. At times you don't have to whether your way. It's not everything that you want that goes. You have to be able to, it's the role of a father in a family. There are some, among your children, you know that some of your children are very heady and we tend to misbehave, and also that, so you don't, because one is behaving, to help with you.
Sometimes you wonder if indeed you really
the father. Yeah, but it happened. That's what happened.
I don't know if it works.
I understand. Well, yes, it does. You know that. But what I'm saying in essence is that the man only reacted. But let us look at it. If we have looked at the antecedents of the current national chairman of APCCC, even his party members have not only those that are talking now. Remember what happened immediately after the election. He said that the Senate that they will not need the cooperation of the opposition party to be able to elect a president.
Leadership.
Also that no member of the opposition would be the chairman of any. That is not, he's not talking like a politician. And that is what is causing all this mess.
Sam, I know neither of them is speaking for you, but mine is. One thing is lacking in this country when it comes to leadership. Responsibility. Nobody is responsible for anything. Does that not worry you?
It does. And leadership is about accepting responsibility, really. So when people...
Otherwise, sorry, to help you some more. What we're saying is, what was the state of the baby Oyegun handed over to Oshiomhole?
Yeah, I want to say, you know, and this is my personal view, that APC is a classic case of a house divided
among yourself.
You know, and so if you want to go back a little, just like CKN had done, you would appreciate the fact that the push to get Oshiomhole out started way back late 2018. And we need to fully appreciate that. There were some fringe contestants, the likes of Alhaji Mumakai, Dr. S.K. Siobuna, who came out and said that the man didn't have that's Oshiomhole. They didn't have what it takes to lead the party to victory. Of course, that's arguable. But the point we want to make here is that long before now, there had been efforts made to embarrass Comrade Oshiomhole. So APC has always had its challenges.
Made who or what by?
No, I didn't get that.
Efforts made by who or what to embarrass Oshiomhole?
Those who felt aggrieved within the system, party members. I'm talking about party members, APC party members, who didn't think that Oshiomhole was, carrying everybody along in the bid, to win the 2019 general elections. So, and I've cited a few examples. Alhaji Makai, Dr. S.K. Siobona. Of course, you consider these guys fringe players, but they came out and indicated their interest to contest the presidency. So APC has always had that challenge of dealing with issues, from unanimous position.
You don't, in your quiet moments, reflect on the fact that 4 parties came together to form a. Is that not something to
yeah, something to worry about?
You factor it into this discussion.
And those divisions are still there. Let us not pretend. The AC, the MPP, the APGA, the CPC, and all that. These divisions are still there. And what the party leadership has failed to do so far, if you ask me, is to try to manage these different positions and build a very cohesive party. So when you ask me if what Oyegun handed over to Oshiomhole was, united team, I think that addresses the question to some extent, because these divisions have always been there.
Yeah.
Oyegun may have failed, to unite the party, but how much has been done by the man who is currently the chairman of the party to improve on what he met on the ground? That is why it is important, citizens.
Also, I'm not defending Asukwo. Asukwo was merely reminding you that the party is supreme at any point in time.
Absolutely. We agree. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But I think the point we want to make is that these different, groupings within the party appear to want to continue to hold their positions. I have not seen any radical change towards building a united team or united force, if you like. So this, eruption, if you permit, that we see have been there, very latent. And that's why we have just gone back a little into history to say, look, this didn't start today. Even before the general elections, there had been subtle moves, to get Oshiomhole out of it. Remember, there were even claims, rumors, we don't know how true, that is, that he was even invited by DSS based on, petitions written, asking him to step down as the party chairman. I mean, we should try and recollect all this. So these forces are there, and I guess they were just waiting for the elections to be over. And now that it's over, everybody is, is coming up, to lay claims.
We get back to Asukwo. So, obviously, the palaver in Imo, the skirmish in Zamfara were avoidable.
And Rivers.
No, of course they were, because that one, all those states that you have mentioned, those are states where most of the party leaders have personal ambition and they have interests.
So who does not have anyway?
No, yeah, they have. It's all about themselves first. Yeah. That is why I keep saying that. I'm not saying that the letter did not come from the South and the outburst, and that was where, yes, CKN has mentioned that. But me, I was trying to give an overview of the scenes of Oyegun before, Oshiomhole. That was how I started mine. Now, talking about the problems in Imo, the problems in even Ogun State too, Zamfara and co. If you look at all those things that happen, it is supposed to be avoidable, especially that of Zamfara. It is something that the party, just like Sam is saying, if the party was united and they respected what the party, everybody knows that this is the party that we want to, rise and shine will remain with this party. Yeah. If the party says this is the person that we want, they should be able to respect it, respect the decision of the party. But because everybody has his own personal interest, because if you look at the one in Rivers, till today, I still say it, there is nothing wrong in Oshiomhole or the members of the party saying, this is the person that we want. And when once Oshiomhole says this is the person they want, nothing will happen. Same, that was what happened in Ogun State. The party says it is Dapo Abiodun. And it was Dapo Abiodun that the party went ahead. And another thing is, the leader of the party must also show that responsibility, just like you're saying. If the leader of the party comes out and say, and the party says, it is Mr. A that we want, the leader of the party, who happens to be Mr. President, must stamp his foot and say, it is the party's decision. Not that he will go to a particular campaign. You will now say, vote your mind. You know, by the time you say vote your mind, you've made even your party, the supporters of the party, as well as those who believe in the supremacy of the party.
Who said vote your mind?
The president said vote your mind in Imo State.
He said vote of your choice.
Of your choice.
You know? Did he say it from a void?
No, that is what is in his...
Note that he said it in those 4 specific states.
Exactly.
Why? Did he say it from a void?
You know, citizen, just like I'm saying, if the party is united, and there's that supremacy of the party, the supremacy of the party is there. When once the party says it is Mr. A that they want.
Sorry, a caller wants to join the fray. Okay. We say, good evening, welcome to Dari, am I right? Okay, the call is gone. The call is gone.
Well, once the party says it is Mr. A, the president, as the leader of the party, is supposed to say, guys, this is what the party has decided, and this is who the party wants to fly.
Even when, at the time, the governor in the respective states had dug in.
Exactly.
Taking a position.
Yes, even though, because, see, there is nobody that will contest election without the party.
That's it. So, you continue. But mine is, how come in Nigeria, our politics is a totally different one? A new orchestra conductor comes in. He believes we can still achieve the same thing by coming from a different angle. That cannot be bad.
No, that cannot be bad, but it's not just about politics. It's everything in Nigeria. It's everything about us.
Yeah.
It's only in Nigeria that you go and you see somebody driving.
So you want to change things, you are considered a bad man.
Yes, exactly. It's only in Nigeria that you see somebody with all sense of responsibility will continue driving, taking one way. When other human beings are taking the right people, and they will still argue
and what he says, that the other man, why didn't you...
See that other man don't go, why be say you won't catch me? And it has always been like that. And it is also in Nigeria that
you don't think you should stop? That's what I'm saying.
Exactly, that is it. Instead of stopping, and even passengers in the same bus, instead of talking to the driver and saying that what you do...
Because Chris, what you are saying...
They will urge the driver.
Chris, what you are saying is... Oshiomhole must toe the line of Oyegun?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Say what you want to say now.
What I want to say is, let me tell you, there was problem before Oshiomhole came in. There were crises. I expected the chairman of Adams Oshiomhole status to come in and reconcile. That is what politics is all about. It's give and take.
But if somebody does not want to take...
Let me tell you, politics is about give and take. It's about lobbying. That is what talking politics are.
Chris, let's break it down, because I know the viewer is interested. Yeah. Take Ogun State, for instance. The governor was not interested in Abiodun.
Yes.
But rather, his crony.
Yes.
At that point, what could Oshiomhole have done?
Once the party has taken a decision, everybody falls in line. And that's the fact. Once
I hope you are listening to you.
Yes.
You are listening to you.
Yes, I am. But let me tell you what I'm trying to say, sir.
Okay.
Under the circumstances, there will always be black sheep within the folds. It is normal. Even when Oyegun was there, even with other parties and the rest of them. Remember what happened in PDP? The long crisis that PDP had. with, what's his name, Amadou, what's his name? Yes, now, the former Borno State governor, and then with the former Kaduna governor and the crisis that went and the rest of them. At the end of it all, after the court gave the verdict, PDP came together. And that was why they had the success. They had this success, quote and unquote, because they were able to look at their problem and reconcile themselves.
Okay.
You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, in APC, we have very strong personalities like Asiwaju, a rugged politician, somebody that knows all antics about politics. We have the president, although the president remained aloof. The president remained aloof. He was not too much interested in all these things. And there were all the other things that we are fighting and the rest of them. But I expected a chairman of the caliber of Adams Oshiomhole does not need to come to the front of cameras every time and be castigating his members and be saying this and this is not a military kind of thing.
Okay.
When you go back into your drawing, you go back inside and reconcile yourselves, and that was what happened. Now let me hit the point.
Yeah.
Now, what part of the problem they had was that when APC now said everybody go and conduct primaries, whatever you think that is right for you to, yes, and it became a problem.
Sam, you are taking it home now.
Yes.
Oh, okay. How do you summarize?
I think that the crisis that we have witnessed so far is merely scratching the surface. I think there's a lot more that has not been said. If you ask me, my instinct tells me that the struggle that we currently are witnessing is all about 2023. How do I mean? There is a war, permit me, going on to seize the party structure. Because any grouping within the larger APC family that is able to commandeer the party structure puts itself in a driver position to determine who the candidates will be ahead of 2023. I keep arguing that the way you and I measure time is not the way politicians measure time.
Yeah, maybe that's why in their game, 2 times 2 is 22 and not 4, which is very unfortunate.
So the struggle that you see is basically to prepare ahead of time.
Yeah.
Put themselves in positions where they can influence a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we must draw the debate to a close here. But then let it continue, wherever you might be. I just want to tell the APC family, as indeed every political family in the country, a quotation credited to Alexander the Great is this: a group of sheep led by a lion is more formidable than a group of lions led by a sheep. Okay, still to come, group endorses LAWAN, Senator LAWAN and Senator ORJI for the 9th Senate leadership. Please stay for that. Okay, then to our next story. You know, anything is possible in partisan politics, more so when the issue is about leadership. As the 9th Senate waits to be inaugurated, the jostling for leadership positions throws up dust in different directions. The positions of the 3rd and 5th citizens are very crucial at the next level, in a next level configuration. So names of possible and likely personages have been flying in the air for some time now. Dr. Ahmed Lawan and rookie Senator Odigie-Oyegun are 2 of those. A nascent Igbo, intelligential, I hope I got that right, intelligential, an umbrella body of enterprising youths of Igbo extraction at home and in the diaspora, is rooting for the twosome national president of the group, Chinedu Onyizu, I hope I got that right too, yeah, says the 2 lawmakers are a strong voice in the advocacy for the youth. You talk about a unique selling point, that the 2 senators, namely Ahmed Lawan and, when I said rookie, he's a new boy at the Senate, yes, so he's exactly a rookie. Yeah, exactly. I didn't say neophyte. No. So the unique selling point is they reach out to the youth. You believe the group?
They reach out to the youth. I'm still trying to, put my
No.
Where
okay, remove your head.
Actually,
are you afraid of the man?
Why should I be afraid of him?
So speak. So you are a journalist, man.
Because I know when he was a governor, yes, he did so many things in Abia State, you know, in terms of maybe education and infrastructure in most parts of the state. But once it comes to, you know, legislative matters, it's a different ball game, you know, because LAWAN has been there for years, but he is coming in as somebody that doesn't even know.
He's not a lawmaker.
Yes,
he
was
been
never
a state executive. Yeah.
Yes, you know, he has never been a lawmaker. Because if, for instance, he started from the House of Assembly in Abia State, would have removed that word rookie and say, okay, he's a senator. But he doesn't even know the processes and, you know, the thing.
Because it's a learning process.
No, because, for instance, if LAWAN is not available, is the Senate president, is the deputy, he's definitely going to act as the Senate president.
Obviously.
You know, so there are some terms you have to use. There are some words it's not about just opening the book to begin to read. No.
And dropping the gavel.
No, it's not about that one. It is not no.
You know he's watching you.
Yes, I know. So
We know he's watching.
In as much as we want the devolution or the positions to be spread, we want people who will not take us back because we want to move forward. If a LAWAN is coming out, we need another person who understands legislative language and matters.
The dynamics, the footwork.
Exactly, you know. I would have loved to see another Igbo person, you know, another senator of Igbo extraction.
Mention another senator of the APC extraction.
That is going to be very tough.
Okay, we excuse.
It might not be from there. It might be even from the south.
Okay.
You know, because I know they have a couple of senators who are two-time senators who are older senators.
You like this crazy mathematics? The chairman of the party is South-South. The deputy Senate president, South-South. Does it matter?
If, for instance, the Southeast they don't have, they might look from somebody who speaks the language of the Southeast.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Like maybe they are Sabaside, who understands that language, and it can fit into it.
Okay, you are thinking maybe you are dreaming Omo Agege?
I don't know.
Please help you.
Yes, first and foremost, anybody can endorse anybody. Myself, Sam, Asokwo, and yourself can wake up today and I'm coming. Yeah. Can just call ourselves Association of Patriotic Journalists or whatever, endorsers, and just issue a statement today and say we are supporting so person and the rest of them. Anybody can do that. This particular one, I've never heard of them before. This is my first time of hearing the name. Anyway, but what we have to understand is that none of us are going to vote on that day.
Exactly.
It's only the senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 109 of them, that are going to vote for the Senate President and also the Deputy Senate President.
Yeah.
So they are the people that would...
But there must be candidates to vote for.
Sir, even at that, the party has already started endorsing some people already. LAWAN has been endorsed by the APC, although Ndume is also saying that he wants to contest. For the Deputy Senate President, I'm not sure of anybody yet.
That is why this group is...
So that is why he's now saying that... And I don't know where the Deputy Senate President seat has been zoned to by the APC. I am not that, to the best of my knowledge, I don't know. So, but the most important thing...
It is also key.
That is what I was saying. It's very key. It's very important.
It's important.
Because it's most likely that the House of Representative Speaker is going to the Southwest, which is almost sure as well. Then the deputy they are looking at North Central or whichever. So you can see from that, you can see that now the Senate President, let's even start from the President. The President is North, the Vice President it's South or Southwest. Then the Senate President is going to be from the North. Then the Deputy definitely come to South. That's the way the APC is trying to. But let us look at, the question is, if it's shown to the Southeast, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it, do we have any APC senator from the Southeast, ranking senator from the Southeast, not to the best of my knowledge, for now, that I know of. Okay?
I don't know where you got the word.
No,
ranking.
I said...
Hold on.
Yeah.
Akpabio was a first-time senator, but he was made the minority...
He was minority leader. Anybody can be minority leader.
No, not anybody.
No, sir, let me just say this. They, within
because
themselves...
you have talked about experience here.
Let me say this. Within the party at the point in time, if you know the position that Akpabio was holding in PDP as of that time, there is all possibility that he was going to get it. But even the minority leader then just galvanized those from the minority. Yes, just galvanized those in the minority. But we are talking about the deputy Senate president of the federation, which means, just as rightly said, if the Senate president, you saw what Ike Ekweremadu was doing. When Saraki, all the time that Saraki was facing his crisis at the CCT and rest of them, it was Ekweremadu that was always taking charge. And you saw the way he handled it. So it's not just a position for anybody. But if within themselves, and they agree within themselves that, well, this is ORJI, KALU, any other person is capable of doing that, is within them. But as I said, it's the Senate of the members of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that are going to elect the Senate President and the Deputy Senate President. Anybody endorsing anything, I don't know how viable that's going to be. That's my take.
Sam, quickly. LAWAN has been at the National Assembly since 1999, so he's an old boy, old warhorse.
As it were.
As it were. So...
I almost got it the last time. Before until Saraki came in.
Then, you know, Senator Odigie-Oyegun, a dark horse.
Yeah, I like the word dark horse. Politics is an interest-driven game.
Okay.
For a while, Odigie-Oyegun has, been out there, speaking on the matter of leadership of the Night Assembly. I recall very vividly, not long ago, that he said, I don't know where he got his record from, that some 51 senators, have already backed LAWAN, and of course he's been positioning himself. But one thing I want us to appreciate here is the role that money plays. ORJI has always talked about his network, and he says, look, I might be a fresher, but I've got massive network that can fetch the right numbers to help whoever that we want to position as Senate President. And you can't remove that. But the other point I have made is the money thing. Let us not pretend. Money is going to play a huge role in how the numbers are going to sort themselves out. Yes. So,
okay. Just before we run away without it, Odigie-Oyegun tomorrow becomes the Deputy Senate President, the number 5 citizen in the country after the election. And you have Senator Theodore Orji, his former boy there. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Oh, yeah, but it wouldn't be the first time. I'll give you a classic example. Once we had Osinbajo, who was Attorney General Commissioner in Lagos.
Sorry, let's quickly, I'm sorry. Okay. Sulaiman, you are here. We welcome you. Welcome, Sulaiman. How do you do?
How are you?
I'm fine, and you? Let's go.
Yes, just to chip in. What experience did the Evan Ewerem, the INDISCIPLINE, or the Nnamani have to become Senate President? I don't think this issue of...
So Sulaiman, in 1999, we had a clean slate. Now the slate has been dirtied. That's my only defense.
What about Nnamani or INDISCIPLINE?
Oh, okay, make your point. Go on.
Yes, what I'm trying to say is that it's not a hard and fast rule that somebody has to have been a legislator before.
Okay.
And then, sorry if I may just throw the hand of the clock back a little. I don't know if you permit that.
Yeah, the APC.
Well, let's see how far back we are taking the handles of the clock.
Oh. All right. Have a nice time.
Oh, okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
So yeah, I was going to cite the example of the VP, who was one-time commissioner, and today Lord Situva. Lord, permit my use of the word.
number two.
Number two man, over the man who used to be governor, Fashola.
Okay.
So the cat can actually turn. Okay. And I think that the average Nigerian politician, understands that. The dilemma
You are looking at the tiffing between, you didn't have any such thing between Professor Oshibajo, number two, with Fashola. But with ORJI or KALU and Theodore ORJI.
Jones, I can tell you for free that these guys, once they leave
the state,
these guys are they're very good friends. Haven't you seen pictures of the two ORJIs, shaking themselves? Recently, we had Ganduje and Emir Sanusi, and we thought they would never hug themselves. But the point here is,
former President Obasanjo had a dance with former Senator, bless his soul. The next day he was sacked. No, but go on.
Yeah, well, probably that could be an exception. But what I'm saying is that it's permanent interest.
Okay.
So these guys don't take their battles too far. Once their interests are protected at any point in time, they're ready to dine with the devil. And that's the point I want to make. So it's not really about whether an ORJI KALU, will get into the Senate and if he wins and becomes the deputy Senate president and begins to, laud this. The cats can turn, and I think that these guys appreciate all that. But what gives me great concern here is that the parties have all they say. If you were to ask us, those of us who are observing on the outside, you will be looking for capacity, you will be looking for character, you will be looking for a lot more. Yeah. Sadly, you have an ORJI, and permit me, who has a case in court, and is already angling to become a leader.
As we sit here.
Yeah, so it tells you that a whole lot is wrong with our system.
I stop you there. The debate must continue. It cannot end at this hangout, okay? Let's move on. There are those folks in this country who would tell you that economics is as much a science as it is an art. Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele, who assumed duties for the second term yesterday, is already dreaming up a new roadmap for both the Apex Bank and the national economy in the coming days. Why not? After all, as a monetary authority, the CBN manages the national currency, money supply, and balance interest rates. Emefiele will not only help stimulate growth and create jobs in the critical sectors of the economy. Now you appreciate the science and the art in economics. I know you are not an economist.
Yes, but at least I did a little bit of making demand and supply.
We're also very keen watchers of the economy.
And spending money.
I know how to spend and also how to save.
Yeah.
So if you look at Emefiele is coming out, I like the way it's coming out. It seems to, his last 5 years has been for him to bring the central bank down to the people. And I think he wants to continue in that same line. In the next 5 years, he's thinking about, ensuring that the policies that is being set out.
Fiscal policies.
Yes, the fiscal policies are being followed to the letter. He believes that there are some people, some economic saboteurs, and if we are able to handle and tackle those, those who are taking us back or trying to take us back, he has been talking tough. They have to be dealt with. The last time we spoke about Emefiele here, I said something about some of the programs that the central bank under Emefiele has brought out. The Anchored Borrowers program, for instance.
Okay.
So many people have been going into farming.
But it's receiving knocks.
Of course, there is no policy of government that won't receive knocks. There will be challenges, but he is trying. And like yesterday, I was discussing with a couple of friends on what he has been doing. Before, when we were in school, we used to hear the central bank is the banker's bank. But now the central bank is coming down, down to the people, whereby this is where the Anchor Borrowers program is coming in.
Yeah.
the central bank is deeply involved in trying to create jobs, either through agriculture. Now they want to move into technology and into the industry. Before, we used to hear about they've even, this same Emefiele banned some items
yeah.
which
42 of them.
43 now. It was 41 before. Now it's 43. Textile products, banned. Before, we used to import toothpick. But he said, well, we can do these things here. And like in Akwa Ibom, all those things that we used to, import, local producers can do them here. So he's trying to see how he can stimulate the economy using his own little macro, not macro now, macro little economics, so that people who are down below will be able to feel the impact of the policies.
Chris, the CBN governor is also saying he wants to insulate the economy from global shocks, but we still remain a mono economy.
Yes.
And we are talking about diversification.
Yes.
How much of it are we doing?
Well, to a large extent, I think we've been trying. There was a time that close to 90% of our income comes strictly from crude oil. Now, in the past few years, starting from the time of the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, when he decided to really go into agriculture, and we saw what Akinwumi did during his time as the Minister of Agriculture, that changed the dynamics. Where initially anybody seen as a farmer was just looked at as just a dropout. And now we've gone into mechanized farming, and we can be able to, a lot of, just as Asuko said, there are a lot of things that we now will now be able to get for ourselves. We don't need to import and the rest of them. And in the past 5 years, I think Emefiele has done well. I wouldn't say exceedingly well, but he has tried. Okay, because
there's always room for improvement.
Yes, there's always room for improvement. And I believe that it's based on that the president gave him a second chance. Don't forget, Emefiele was not appointed by this government. He was appointed by the last administration. So ordinarily, some people would have said, no, he was an appointee of the PDP. But the president must have seen something in him that made him to have, I guess all odds. People thought he wouldn't be going to, but he reappointed him. So I believe that the president wants him to lead his economic team. And there's something good in some of those. But as we've always said in Nigeria, our problem has not been getting policies and the rest of issue policies. Implementation has always been our problem. And I hope that he gets all the necessary support from all the
I think
before you add this to what you are going to say, don't you think it is time we rejigged the tax regime in this country? People still don't pay tax.
True.
Including the big people.
Yeah, I would agree with you, but before I get to that, there is an interesting angle to the Emefiele tenure and his return, for a second term. And some have termed it some kind of, conspiracy theory. I congratulate him, but we've also heard that the reason the president has kept him there is that he thinks there's a whole lot he knew about the damage that was done by the previous administration, and that he thought that he should stay there and, help to correct it. So we congratulate Emefiele, but, his tasks, are well laid out for him in terms of what he needs to do. First, financial system stability, price stability, and the rest of them. These are the primary assignments.
And exchange rate.
Exchange rate, yes. I was going to come to that. He also will be looking at what he needs to do, to boost the GPE, which is, running, which is slower than the growth rate of our population. So these are challenges for him. He wants to look at how well we can move our inflation rate from double digit to to single digit and all that. You're also looking at things that have to do with corruption, controls within the system. Recently, there's been talk about the NFIU, I don't remember the full
National Financial
Intelligence Unit. Yes, he has a role to play because we're being told that starting from this month, banks won't be able to, local governments won't be able to do more than 500,000 naira cash.
I expect you to bring me up to speed. Did your local government chairman get his on Saturday?
That information I don't have.
Okay.
But trusting this government, I see this government as one that is very keen on executing its initiatives or policies. And there's been no sign that there's been a change. So the CBN will have a role to play there because we're talking about the banks and controls. But back to the issue of tax. I may not have the tax, I may not have the, the raw data, but the facts of the matter, the facts speak for itself. So many Nigerians are not, in the tax net. And I think that the man who is heading FIRS, the Federal Inland Revenue,
Fowler.
Fowler has done a great job. Over the years, we've seen increase in the amount of money that has been pulled in, through tax. But there have been arguments about, people being taxed, double taxation, and the rest of them. And I think that the general consensus here is that rather than tax people so much, that we should be looking at the number of persons we can, can bring, into the tax
reliefs here and there.
Yes. So I think that on the whole, there is a systemic response, to managing the economy. It's been fairly stable, if you ask me, and I think that is why Emefiele, has talked about a roadmap. It's good that he's talking about a roadmap. It shows that he has a plan. Otherwise, he wouldn't be talking about a road plan. So what we try to do here is to remind him of the task that is ahead of him in terms of, financial system stability, price stability, GDP, and the rest of them.
And to also tell
job creation.
Also tell him that ideas are like children crying at a church service. You must carry them out immediately.
Otherwise,
the policy has not been yes.
Yeah, but Asukwa, we talked in passing about the exchange rate. No country can have a stable currency if she is not producing. Yes. And we are not producing, so we are not earning anything. That's why the pressure is on the national currency.
Exactly.
And why? Where is the problem? Electricity. Power. Generate power.
I know, like I said the last time, one of the things that Emefiele wants to, that will form, I want to believe will form the roadmap, will be how it can help, either the discos, those involved in power, because without power,
nothing will happen. Nothing, no magic.
Because I know so many people that are depending on diesel and fuel for them to be able to,
drive
their businesses. So if...
sorry, let me drop this. Do you know if power is steady, it will affect tariffs? They will go down.
Definitely, definitely.
And the Naira will show up.
So it's just a simple economics.
Yeah.
You understand? Because if we have a stable power supply, and for instance, someone who is a barber, for instance, he doesn't need to go and buy fuel. He knows that, okay, if I have stable power supply, more people will come, and I won't be complaining that he will have more money in his pocket. And even if you want to task the barber, he will be glad to pay the tax.
Yeah.
You understand? So, but whereby he doesn't have, and you still want to go and collect, he will be buying his own fuel, and then the government will go and knock and say, okay, you pay tax. That is where the double taxation comes in.
Yeah.
So it has to look at how it can help either the discos, for them to be able to get power supply to everybody.
Stabilize power.
Yeah, to be stable.
The problem we are having in the power sector for now is not even generation. Is ability to distribute.
I don't know what grammar you are going to use.
No.
We have power problems.
No, we do. No, what I'm just giving you, and I'm talking areas where I think the central bank
place a finger.
Yes, place a finger. Yes, we cannot. The main problem we're having, in as much as we say we've not generated enough, but do you know that what we are generating we cannot distribute because all of them don't have the capacity to distribute what we have. They can't take what is being generated. Okay. And that is where the problem is.
I thought you were going to say the cross-country power lines can't take more than 5,000 megawatts.
That is what I'm saying. So where we should be looking at the central bank governor, where I should think he should come in on the issue of power now. How do we be able to increase that capacity? we should have a lot of investment in distribution so that whatever we are generating, we are not losing what we are generating. If we are generating about 7,000 megawatt, we are just distributing about 3,000, 4,000, it becomes a problem. And even the ones that some states
generates 101 megawatts.
Some states are generating, cannot even put it on the national grid.
Exactly.
That is the problem. Yeah. So we need to decentralize some of these things and make sure that we put more money into that sector so that we can, whatever we are generating, even Lagos State is generating. You know, because it's within the exclusive list.
The Lagos State Secretariat powers its
24
own,
is, yes, they have their own. So that is the problem we're having.
How do you take us home?
Yeah, Emefiele is a businessman. And that's why I think that we don't have a direct link here between him and what will happen in the power sector. Now, how do I mean? If the CBN wants to commit resources, it should be looking at returns. CBN is not Father Christmas.
They will.
Yeah, I don't think the solution to this is throwing money at it. We must appreciate one thing, and this has been said severally, you know, on so many fora, that the process of trying to re-engineer our power sector in itself was faulty. And that is why you hear the minister, and I pity him, he keeps complaining about the relationship between his ministry, and the Gencos, and the Discos, and the rest of them. And then we see some kind, and that's me looking at the entire scenario, you know, some sort of blackmail. When Discos begin to tell you, look, if you don't give us more money, we're ready to, you know, to walk away and hands off. So I think there are fundamental issues to be dealt with within the sector. Yeah. For Emefiele, I want to encourage him. He should continue to run his programs purely from the business perspective. He's no Father Christmas. If there are willing investors who are already credible and have integrity, well, he can commit resources to it. But I know that it is the banks themselves that will do this. CBN doesn't have a role to play in all that, if you ask me. So I think that we need to be fair to ourselves. We need to be true to ourselves. There are big challenges facing us within the power sector.
And his ability to, and sorry, sir, last line. Also, whoever we're going to have at the next Minister of Finance is also must be somebody that can be able to, if you don't have somebody at the head of the Finance Ministry that can work hand in hand with the team, then we're going to have problems. We're going to have issues.
Sometimes I don't know if the debate is easy to win. Must you have an economist? Nobody says. All right, I'm told we must pack it all in for the evening. Let me thank Asukwo James for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Chris Kehinde Nwandu, many thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Sam IBEMERE, we are watching your state. Imo.
Yes, it's been quite volatile. And we hope that the new governor is not distracted. We just hope he's not distracted.
Okay then. But President Ronald Reagan said, if you can't make them see the light, make them feel the heat. That's the last line here. We must thank you for your time. Happy holiday. Make the most of your holiday. That's it on the program for the evening. And you may also watch the program on other platforms we'll show on the screen now and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. The feedback channel is the same. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye for now.